Hello and welcome to everybody on my YouTube channel Cloud Fitness. So today we are going to talk about the major difference between the storage services offered by Microsoft. So we do have your blob storage, your ADLS Gen 1, your ADLS Gen 2 and these are the three different storage services offered by Microsoft Azure, and what is the exact difference between these three, right? So this will be our major topic discussion for today. So before moving on, before going ahead, do remember to subscribe to my channel and hit the like icon for this video. So let's start. We'll start with the blob storage first. So blob storage in simple line is basically used for storing your images, your videos, your log files, or your backup, right? But now let's see what is the technical definition of a blob storage. So blob storage will actually store your massive amount of data in any kind of format. So it can store your data in an unstructured or a structured format. It does not need to have a particular schema defined on the data that you are storing, right? So that is the typical feature of a data lake. Similar is the case with the blob storage here. What is blob storage typically designed for? So it is designed for, keeping the images. So for example, you have your machine learning operations going on, you need to store your images. Where you're going to store it? You are going to do it in the blob storage. Similarly, you can store your videos, your audio backups, you can, have the log files inside the blob storage. You can have your backup, restore, even your archiving purpose. For that, all these purposes, you can actually use blob storage. Now, when you talk about this blob storage, what is this blob, right? The first question that comes to our mind, what is this blob she is talking about? So blob is basically the data that you store. So blob storage is a storage, but the blob, when you talk about just the blob is the data that you store inside the blob storage. So in case you talk about blob storage, the very first thing that you create is a storage account. So let's say that I create a storage account named as Sally, and inside that I'll create a container. In that container I'll create I can create n number of containers inside an account. So inside Sally, let's say I have created pictures and movies. So you can consider pictures and movies as a folder, right? In general terms, if they are not folders, but yeah, you can consider them as a folder. So these are actually containers. Now inside that containers, I'll actually put my data, right? So through this container, I'm just segregating the type of data that I have. So I might have pictures and movies which I'm segregating by just giving, the name of the container. And inside container, I am adding the images which are actually called as blobs. So this is how your blob structure looks like. Now even when you are adding these blobs inside the container, you actually define which type of blob you want to add. So you might want to add a block blob, or you might want to add an append blob, you might want to add a page blob. So based on your requirement, you actually have to select the type of blob you want to add. So when you talk about append blob, let's say, so in case you have logging data, so in that case you can choose your append blob. So in case you have a binary data or you have a text data, you can choose blob. So likewise, there are different set of blobs which you have to select while working on the blob storage. Now let's go ahead and create a storage account for your blob storage. So guys, I am in Azure portal.azure.com. I already have a subscription inside it. So in case you have, you can definitely go ahead and try this hands-on. Otherwise, I think it also have a free version available, right, for the students, as well as the free trial is also available. You can go ahead and leverage that option. So once you go to the portal.azure.com, you can actually navigate and just search for a storage account. So in my case, it's visible here, storage account. So I can go and click and create it. So let's create it. So now I have to give some properties here. I'll come back to you once I select my subscription and resource group. So guys, I'm back. I have selected my subscription. I have selected my resource group. We can definitely talk more about subscription, resource group, and like few set of other properties in detail in another set of video. So for now, let's just focus on the type of storage accounts that we have. So I want to name my storage account. Let's say I want to name it as demo 25.5. But name is not available. Let's say demo blog 25.5. Okay, so the name can contain only lowercase. So let's make it to the lowercase. So I have this storage account named as demo blog 255. So my location is West US2. So you can select the location as per your convenience. And similarly, I have a standard account which works well for me. So account kind. So when you talk about account kind, so this is where you will actually define what kind of account you want to create. So I want to create my blob storage. So let's go ahead and select blob storage here. So once I select the blob storage here, I will actually get the replication that is available for the blob storage. So in case you have not watched my previous video, you can go on to the YouTube, click on the search button, type Cloud Fitness without any space, and you will actually see my video. So in that I have mentioned how Azure offers data redundancy. So this is something which you have to pre-check before watching this video. I recommend watching this video before that for a clear understanding on this replication. So for blob storage, these three replications are available. So let's select one. I am selecting LRS randomly for showing you people. Now I moved ahead. So now I have to provide options for the networking. So for now I am just leaving it as default and I am moving to the data protection. Now coming on to the data protection, I have a blob storage. I want to enable soft delete for my blob. I want to enable soft delete for my container. Now what does this mean? So this means that in case by mistake I delete my blob or I delete my container inside the storage account, in that case I will be able to recover my blob or I'll be able to recover my container within 7 days. So like since I have mentioned 7 days, so I can recover it within 7 days. So you can mention it as per your convenience, and let's move forward now. So now again, these are some set of properties which you have to consider as per your setup. So for me these looks good for now. Now when you talk about blob storage, so you can actually see this hierarchical namespace. This thing I have mentioned earlier as well. So this is already disabled. So this is disabled because in the beginning I have chosen blob storage. While creating the account on the very first page, when you go to this basics, I have actually selected blob storage, right? And because of that, this namespace is actually disabled. So in case it is enabled, then it clearly shows that your account is not a blob storage, right? Now let's move ahead to tags and then to reviewing create. So it will actually run a validation to check whether my blob is, all the configurations which I have given to the storage account is correct or not. It will validate, and once it validates, you can go ahead and create it. So let me create it. It will take 2 minutes to create it approx, and I'll get back in the video again. So guys, my storage account demo blob 255, this is already created now. It got created. Now let's see how let's go ahead and see how we can leverage the different properties inside it. So as I told earlier in my PPT that I've shown you, that inside an account you have to create a container. So account I have already created. Now inside an account I should have an option to create a container. And as you can see here, add a container. So let's go ahead and add a new container. So let's say add it name it as new container. Now when you add a new container, let's create it. So you can see my new container is successfully added. Now once you go inside that container, so you can see here I have added a new container. I move inside this new container. I do not have any option to add another container. I can just upload my blobs here. You understand that point? So this completely reflects what I said here. Inside a container you have to add your blobs or you have to add your files. So guys, now let's try to upload something here. So I'll go and click on upload here. Let's browse something and I'll try to add a file. So I'll try to add a txt file. You can add any file you want, and if you go and click on advanced properties here. So as I mentioned earlier, I'll go back to the PPT. Inside, so you have three types of blobs: block, append and page blobs. So similar option you will actually find here. So it is actually not mentioning me my page blob because it is a txt file. Otherwise it will actually mention the page blob as well. So you can select any of these. So for now I am selecting block blob because block blobs should be used in case you have any kind of binary or a text file. And then this is the block size that you can mention here. Access tier, this basically refers to hot or cool or archive. So hot refers when you are actually trying to use that file again and again. Cool means like you don't have to frequently use that file, right, like that. And now let's upload it. So as you can see here that the process has been completed, and the moment it gets completed you can see that the file has actually come up here. Now I also, you remember I have also kept one property of soft delete for the blobs, right? So now let's go ahead and delete it. Delete the file that I have uploaded. Let's delete it. So you can see successfully deleted blob. Now the blob is deleted, but let's see. I want to undelete that the file which I have deleted by mistake, because I have also enabled option for soft delete. So now let's go and enable this show deleted blobs. The moment I enable this show deleted blob, you can actually see the same file which was actually deleted here is visible with the status as deleted. I can go and click three dots here and undelete it. So this is pretty much how your blob storage works. And now let's move ahead to the second type of storage that we have, that is Azure Data Lake Gen 1. So when you talk about Azure Data Lake Gen 1, right? So I will not take Data Lake Gen 1 much in detail because it is not being used widely now. So you probably nobody in your organization or will actually use Data Lake Gen 1. So most probably people will prefer your blob storage or Gen 2 storage. But just for the just for the knowledge sake, I'll explain what it is. So your Azure Data Lake Gen 1, it is a file system storage. So I already showed you that there is an option for enabling hierarchical namespace when you enable when you create a storage account, right? So that is basically Azure Data Lake Gen 1. And even while selecting the storage account type, then that time also you need to select Gen 1 from the drop down. So we selected Azure blob storage. Instead of blob storage, you need to select Gen 1, and automatically your hierarchical namespace will be enabled. So you need to check on these options. So how is it different from the blob storage? It is different in multiple ways. I have a full slide that covers all the difference between all three of them explicitly. I'll show that to you. So basically it is a kind of Apache Hadoop file system which is very much compatible with HDFS, and it works on Hadoop ecosystem. Basically it provides unlimited storage, so you can store n number of files and you can do data analytics also on that, right? And it is also, it has a similar, since it is a data lake, you do not need to have a schema. You can add structured, unstructured, any kind of data. So you do not have any limits on the account size that you create or the file that you create or the amount of data that is stored in a data lake, right? So your individual files can range from kilobytes to petabytes in size. Also, there are multiple copies of the data that get stored. Now again, for this the data copying, I've already made a video on geo redundancy. You can go ahead and check that. Also, Now let's go ahead and I'll briefly talk about Azure Data Lake Gen 1, Gen 2. Then that time there will be few properties regarding Data Lake Gen 1 that we will come back to. So guys, here is your Azure Data Lake Gen 2, the most used one these days apart from blob storage. So this is also an analytical storage. So what does this Gen 2? This Gen 2 has capabilities of both Gen 1 and the blob storage. Now when you talk about blob storage does not have hierarchical namespace, right? It does not have a folder structure. But container, folder, it does not have that kind of a structure. You just have a container, inside container you add your blob. But in Gen 1 you have hierarchical namespace enabled. In the similar way, Azure Gen 2 has all the capabilities that you find in a blob storage plus the capabilities of Gen 1. And Azure Data Lake Gen 2 is actually built on the top of Azure Blob Storage with all the capabilities of Gen 1. So this is the typical definition that you can give to anybody for Azure Data Lake Gen 2. It has all kind of properties that you actually need for a typical data lake. So and the cost is also not much high. Now let's go ahead and try to create Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. So guys, I have already mentioned my subscription and resource group. So now let's go ahead with the storage name. So I'll keep my storage name as Demo ATLS Gen 2. Let's keep it as 231. Now all these properties I've already mentioned, but in the account kind option, so this is where you can actually mention your Gen 1 as well. So I'm not demoing Gen 1 because it's not much in use, so let's keep it as version 2 only. So general purpose V2 account, so this is basically your Gen 2 account. And then when you talk about Gen 2, all these options are available there. In Gen 2 you have all the replication options available. So let's select anyone randomly and let's move ahead with the networking options. So similarly, networking options, I'm keeping it as it is. And remember, okay. So now let's enable these options as well. I'll show you how it actually works. Now let's go to the advanced options. Let's keep it as it is. Now what you can see here is your hierarchical namespace is disabled. So the moment your hierarchical namespace is disabled, what does that mean? It is not Gen 2 account, but we are trying to create a Gen 2 account. So where is the lag here? So if you go back, you can see here, if I uncheck these options and I go to the advanced settings, it will actually show me. So I'll be able to edit this now. I'll be able to enable this now. So if you go back, so the point to note here is, in case you have hierarchical namespace enabled, you cannot put soft delete on blobs, or you cannot put soft delete on blobs. Basically, you can enable soft deletes on containers, but not on blob. Remember that point. So let's go ahead, and similar case with the versioning of the blob. So you cannot do anything on blobs. So you can actually only enable soft deletes for container. Then only your option will be enabled here. Otherwise not. So I just wanted to show you this thing. So let's go ahead and create the account. So it will take some time. I'll come back in another minute after creating this. So guys, my ADLS Gen 2 is already created now. It's created, so you can see Demo ADLS Gen 231, and let's go ahead and add a container here. So let's say first container, and let's go ahead and create it. Let's create another container. Let's name it as second container. Do let me know in comment section in case you are interested to know something else. apart from any special topic that you might be interested in. So let's go inside in the first container. Now you can see I have an option named as add directory. So if you go and compare it to the blob that I created earlier, in that blob we did not have this add directory option. So through this we can actually confirm as well that hierarchical namespace is enabled here. So let's go ahead and add a directory. So let's say I want to add a directory named as let's say CSV, right? And I click on save. The names are just random, guys. So again, let's add the directory name as Parquet. Right, so you can actually see that I can create n number of directories as well. I can go inside a directory. I went inside CSV and I can again go and create another directory. So I can name it as CSV inside CSV and I click on save. So you can actually see the CSV inside CSV actually got created in the previous directory. Now if I go inside CSV inside CSV, again I can go and add a directory here. So this is why we say that we have hierarchical namespace enabled here, right? So and also just like your previous blob storage, you can go ahead and upload any files here. You can go ahead and upload any files here. In case you go on, because I have enabled soft delete for the container, so in case let's go back to the container. So in case, let's go ahead and delete this container, first container. So the moment I go and delete this first container and enable this show deleted containers option, it's processing, so it should actually show the container which got deleted. Okay, so now you can see that the first container status is deleted, so it got deleted, right? So I can go ahead and undelete it as well. So these are like few properties which I tried to show you here. And also let's go ahead back to the PPT because I have something else as well. I have this a very well formatted way of representing is tables, I believe, especially when you are comparing. Let's quickly discuss this. So for blob, like I have segregated based on purpose first. So why do we have blob storage? So blob storage is basically to store your any kind of file data, any kind of images, your video, and this is basically a storage account where you can process, you can archive, where you can log. So that is called a blob, and blob is further divided into subtypes, which is page blob, append blob, and block blob. Based on your requirements, you can go ahead and select this. Now when you come to ADLS Gen 1, it is also an optimized storage account for big data analytics workload. And when you talk about ADLS Gen 2, it has capabilities of both blob and ADLS Gen 1. So it is a combination of both, which actually provides you a large scale analytics workload. So this is the main purpose that we define for all three of them. And then how is the data organized? So I actually went on and I showed you that how data is organized in blob. So in blob you have a container. I'll go back again and show. So let's say this is your blob. So in blob you have a container. So this is the new container that we created. Inside a container you can actually upload your blobs. You can upload your files, images, anything, videos, that whatever you want to upload. Now when you talk about ADLS Gen 1, you have hierarchical namespace, file, and the folder support. So we have not created ADLS Gen 1. So I will request you all to go ahead and create ADLS Gen 1 again. Not again, I did not create it. Go ahead and do that once and see how this works. Now when you talk about ADLS Gen 2, we created this. So what you have in ADLS Gen 2, you actually have a container. Inside a container, let me undelete it. So it got deleted. We deleted it. Let's undelete it. Okay. So inside your first container, you actually can add directories. So for example, I added folders, CSV, and Parquet, and inside. Then again inside a particular directory, inside a particular folder, you can create subfolders. So that is basically hierarchical namespace, or this is basically how your data is formatted or your data is organized in ADLS Gen 2. Now let's talk about geo redundancy. Now the very first time when I actually tried creating the blob, there was an option of geo redundancy where there were 3 options. So by default, blob provides the geo redundancy support of GRS, LRS and ZRS. In case you have not seen my video on the geo redundancy, I'll again recommend you watching this video. And similarly, Gen 1 has support for GRS and LRS. So typically Gen 1 will go obsolete. So there is no enhancements by Microsoft in Gen 1. And Gen 2 has altogether all the geo redundancy options available. Now when you talk about authentications, so this authentication is also a very big thing when you talk about any kind of storage account. So when you talk about blob, you have account access key and shared account access key enabled in blob storage. So for this, basically I'll go back, and this was the blob that we created, demo blob 255. So in this blob, if I go ahead and select this access key option on the left side, you can actually see this is the storage account name and these are the keys. So using this connection string, you can actually see almost everything inside my storage account. You'll have full access to my storage account. Similarly, you have your shared access signature. While we create this shared access, we can actually discuss more on this topic. This is a huge topic in itself. So the shared access signature, basically we can specify a separate group of people to have access to only specific file or folder. So using this SAS token. So SAS is like a shared access signature. So that is something which is enabled in the blob storage. And Gen 1 has Azure Active Directory Managed Identity Service Principal. So in Gen 1 you have Azure Active Directory Managed Identity and the Service Principal enabled. So when I said Gen 2, the Gen 2 has best of the both worlds. So it has Azure Active Directory Managed Identity, it has Service Principals, it has shared account key, right? So it has all the feature from this blob and ADLS Gen 1. You can use whichever one you want as per your requirement. Now coming on to the authorization. Now this authorization is basically when you try to access the data inside your storage account. So for that, basically blob has role based access control for managing your account. Now Gen 1 has again role based access control and active control lists. In the similar way, Gen 2 again has the best of both worlds. So for management, it has role based access control, and then again to secure your data, to provide authorization for your data, it has active control list, it has role based access control as well. So I'll quickly go ahead and show you. Actually, I don't want to go much in detail for this right now because it will be very confusing. So this is the blob storage. Let's go ahead and I'll go to my so this is the as you can see, so this is data lake Gen 2. So inside this data lake Gen 2, so if I click on my first container here, you can actually see generating a SAS token, right? You can see manage active control list. So these are basically the authorization policies which are actually enabled in data lake Gen 2. And the similar case, if you go to the blob here and check, so you do not have access control list in the blob, right? You have generate SAS, but you do not have access control list. Again, I'll go back and show you. So in Gen 2, you have SAS, you have active control list, but in this case, the only policy here is access policy and the generate SAS. So you can pretty much evident now. You can definitely go ahead and read more about these, or I'll try to make a separate video on this. in case it's not comprehending much. Similarly, some VNet support is also there. Now with ADLS Gen 2, you have private endpoints enabled where you do not have to, risk your data to the cloud by enabling private endpoints. So you can actually move your data in, specific set of IPs, and you can, there is no, flow of your data to the cloud. So both these things are actually enabled in Gen 2, which are not enabled in your Blob and ADLS Gen 1. So this is typically most I could fetch in this video for you all, and I did not want to elongate it too much, but still I feel this video has been a little long. Do let me know in the comment section if you want to know anything apart from this, and do remember to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.